Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a really fascinating look at something you, our listener, shared with us. It's a healing affirmation script by Manish Soriwanshi.
Right.
And our mission today is really to get under the skin of this affirmation, to sort of explore how it might resonate, psychologically, neuroscientifically, maybe even spiritually.
Yeah, because this isn't just like random positive thinking, is it? It feels quite structured.
Exactly. It seems like a carefully crafted approach to, well, igniting healing. And we want to pull out the most insightful bits for you.
And what strikes me, right off the bat is how proactive it feels. It's not just a wish.
No, it's very active.
It's an active engagement, and we should definitely explore what makes that potentially so powerful.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The very first part. Whatever caused this, state the problem. For example, the blockage in my heart or a tumor in my brain or the cancer in my stomach or any other issue. Seems simple, but there's a lot packed in there, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, psychologically, just that initial act of naming the problem, even broadly, that's a big first step.
How so?
Well, think about it. It's a kind of direct acknowledgement, right? In therapy, facing something directly within a safe context can really lessen its grip.
Okay.
And the examples he gives, they help make it concrete, don't they?
Right. And that inclusive bit at the end, any other issue, that feels really important too.
Definitely. It's like saying, look, whatever you're facing, this still applies.
Yeah.
And that flexibility, it can actually reduce anxiety. If you're dealing with something vague or hard to define, this lets you start addressing it without needing that perfect label right away.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, shifting gears a bit, the brain. What might be happening up there when we start with a statement like this?
Well, when you specify the problem, like saying tumor in my brain, even just thinking it, that likely activates the brain's salience network.
Salience network.
Yeah, it's key for filtering information, for directing our focus to what we decide is important. So naming the issue is like telling your brain, okay, this is what needs attention.
Right, like setting the brain's agenda. I like that.
Exactly.
But what about the first part, the whatever caused this? That's more open-ended. How does the brain handle that?
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting. That ambiguity, that sort of openness, it might engage the default mode network, the DMN.
Okay, and the DMN is?
It's often active when our minds are wandering, self-reflection, internal exploration. So while the specific examples focus the salience network, the whatever caused this could allow for a deeper, maybe more subconscious exploration of underlying factors.
So it's like the brain is doing two things at once, zooming in and casting a wider net, sort of.
You could definitely see it that way, yeah.
Now, what about the spiritual angle? How does this opening line fit in there?
Well, in many spiritual traditions, illness isn't just physical, right? It's often seen as a sign of a deeper imbalance, the energetic, emotional, spiritual.
Right.
So by acknowledging whatever caused this, you're kind of aligning with that idea. You're saying, okay, there might be a root cause here beyond just the physical symptoms, and that needs attention too. It's about addressing disturbances on, well, multiple levels.
So putting it all together, this first part seems designed to empower you, the listener, to acknowledge the problem without getting bogged down if you don't have all the answers yet.
Precisely.
It's about facing it, but also trusting your own body's wisdom somehow.
Exactly. It's like saying, I see this challenge, and I trust my inner capacity to understand and begin to address what's really going on underneath.
Oh, okay, that's powerful. Let's move to the second part then, which resulted in disruption and disharmony in my mind, body, and spirit. This really broadens things out.
It does, and it's crucial because it acknowledges the holistic impact. Health issues rarely just stay physical, do they?
No, they ripple outwards.
Exactly. They affect our thoughts, our emotions, our sense of peace, maybe even our connection to something bigger.
Right.
Our spirit.
So psychologically, what's the payoff for stating that interconnectedness so clearly?
It's validating, massively validating for your experience.
Yeah.
When you're facing a health challenge, it's easy to feel like nobody quite gets how deep it goes. By naming the disruption and disharmony in mind, body, and spirit, the affirmation basically says, yes, we see it, we get it. This connects to ideas like polyvagal theory, feeling seen, helps regulate our nervous system.
Right.
And also things like ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, where accepting the reality of your experience is the starting point for change.
That makes so much sense. Like giving yourself permission. It's okay that this is hitting me on all these levels.
Precisely.
Okay, neuroscientifically speaking, What might be going on when we acknowledge this whole mind-body-spirit impact?
Well, articulating this disharmony could engage the anterior cingulate cortex. That's a brain region involved in processing emotional conflict, pain awareness. By naming the disruption across the board, you might actually be reducing cognitive dissonance, that internal clash when things don't line up.
Ah, yeah.
And reducing that mental stress can potentially lower stress hormones like cortisol. So easing that internal conflict could have a real calming effect physiologically.
And spiritually, this idea of disruption, disharmony, that echoes through a lot of holistic health ideas, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like we touched on, many traditions see health as balance, as harmony across mind, body, spirit. Illness is seen as disharmony.
So this part fits right in.
Exactly. It directly aligns with that philosophy. It sets the stage for healing as a process of restoring that equilibrium, that balance across the whole person.
So by stating it explicitly, the affirmation creates this framework for a really comprehensive healing journey. It says all these parts matter and are connected.
Yes. It moves beyond just symptom management towards a more complete restoration of well-being.
Okay. Now the next part feels like a real shift in tone. I wholeheartedly, with all my might and strength, instruct. That's quite assertive.
It really is.
Yeah.
This is where it pivots, doesn't it? From acknowledging the situation to actively stepping in to change it. It's a declaration, a strong commitment.
Psychologically, what's happening with such a forceful statement?
This taps right into self-efficacy, that belief in your own power to influence things.
Right, your ability to do something.
Exactly. Phrases like wholeheartedly, all my might and strength, they directly push back against those feelings of helplessness that can creep in with health issues. It puts you back in an empowered position,
Yeah.
a proactive stance.
And in the brain, what might that strong emotional instruction trigger?
Well, the strong language, the emotion,
Yeah.
that likely activates the amygdala, the emotion center,
Okay.
which then talks to the prefrontal cortex involved in decision-making, focused intention. This interaction can create a state of heightened focus, determination.
Maybe some reward signals too.
Quite possibly. You might get a dopamine release, which is linked to motivation, reinforcing that goal of healing.
Spiritually speaking, does this kind of intense instruction have parallels?
For sure. Think about the focused intention in prayer, in ritual, across so many paths.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your will, directing your energy towards healing. You could also see it as a kind of active surrender, engaging fully while trusting a higher power or your own inner wisdom.
So this phrase really aims to put you, the listener, firmly in the driver's seat, moving from maybe feeling like a victim of illness to being an active participant in your own healing.
Exactly. Taking ownership, partnering with your body's own abilities.
Okay, let's look at what's being instructed. My all-powerful inner healing power, which controls, governs, and heals my mind, body, and spirit. This focuses inward.
Yes, it invokes this really profound idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That there's an innate healing capacity within us. We're not just waiting for external fixes. We have this powerful internal resource.
Psychologically, how does that mesh with our understanding of the mind-body connection?
Oh, it aligns beautifully with psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI.
Right, PNI.
PNI research shows these intricate links. Mind, nervous system, immune system, all talking to each other. Believing in your body's ability to heal can actually influence physiology positively.
So the affirmation helps build that belief.
Precisely. By stating all-powerful inner healing power, it fosters that crucial belief, that trust in your body's own wisdom.
And neuroscientifically, calling this power all-powerful, how might that influence the brain?
This is where the fascinating placebo effect really comes into view.
Ah, okay.
We know from studies like Benedetti's work that belief in a treatment can trigger real physiological changes, even if the treatment itself is inert.
Right, the power of expectation.
Exactly. By framing this inner power as all-powerful, the affirmation likely ramps up the expectation of healing. It could potentially enhance that placebo response, leveraging the brain's amazing ability to influence the body based on belief.
And spiritually, this idea of an inner healing power, that's pretty universal, isn't it?
Absolutely fundamental in many systems. Think of prana in yoga, qi in Chinese medicine.
The life force.
Yes, that vital inner energy that sustains health and drives healing. This part of the affirmation taps right into that. And again, notice it mentions mind, body, and spirit, reinforcing that holistic view.
So invoking this all-powerful inner healing power
Yeah.
encourages agency, deep trust in ourselves, and potentially harnesses both belief systems and biological mechanisms for healing.
Precisely. It's about recognizing and crucially activating that internal resilience.
Okay, the next instruction is bold. To reverse that cause 1,000,000 times faster and quicker? Wow, that's ambitious.
It is. And that boldness, that sheer scale, is probably a key part of its design. It's
Yeah.
a powerful directive aiming for accelerated healing, way beyond maybe what we'd normally expect.
Psychologically, what's the effect of commanding something so amplified?
Well, we touched on visualization earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
This kind of, you could call it hyperbolic language, can be incredibly motivating, like
Mm-hmm.
athletes visualizing success in vivid detail.
Right.
Picturing the reversal happening 1,000,000 times faster. That creates a really strong, compelling mental image of rapid recovery. Makes the outcome feel more tangible, more urgent. It can also help cut through feelings of discouragement if things feel slow.
And neuroscientifically, that vivid image of super fast reversal, what's it doing in the brain?
Vivid imagery, especially tied to strong intent, likely engages the amygdala, again, the emotional significance, and also the hippocampus, which is vital for memory.
Okay.
This could strengthen the neural pathways linked to your healing intention,
Yeah.
making it more real to your brain, potentially influencing subconscious processes, maybe stress regulation, immune function.
Spiritually, does the idea of vastly accelerated healing fit anywhere?
It definitely resonates with the spiritual belief in, well, the potential for profound, even miraculous healing.
Okay.
The idea that with focused intention, unwavering belief, huge shifts can happen. Now, 1,000,000 times faster is obviously symbolic,
Right.
but it reflects that deep belief that healing isn't always linear, that there's potential for rapid, transformative change.
And it loops back nicely to that flexibility at the start, doesn't it? That cause could be anything physical, emotional.
Exactly. It's a targeted, forceful command for swift reversal, whatever the root challenge might be.
Okay, the affirmation then shifts slightly again. I am on the path of healing exponentially. This isn't a command, it's an affirmation of progress.
Yes, and it's a really powerful one. It reinforces not just that healing is happening, but that the rate of healing is increasing. It's gaining momentum exponentially.
Psychologically, how does a statement like that, forward-looking, growth-oriented, affect our mindset?
It's strong cognitive reframing. Instead of focusing on the illness, maybe the slowness of progress,
Mm-hmm.
it shifts your focus entirely to a positive, dynamic path forward. It fosters that solution-focused mindset, crucial for resilience. It counters feeling stuck with a sense of movement, growing hope.
And neuroscientifically, affirming exponential progress. What's the
Yeah.
brain doing?
Similar to other positive affirmations, it likely helps regulate the amygdala, the threat detector, and strengthens activity of the prefrontal cortex. That's involved in planning, optimism, seeing the future positively.
And the word exponentially itself.
That creates a really powerful mental image, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rapid, accelerating growth. That reinforces a positive, proactive mental state.
Spiritually, does exponentially carry any special weight?
Well, in spiritual context, you could see exponentially as a metaphor for divinely inspired or universally supported acceleration.
Ah, interesting.
It suggests your healing isn't just you pushing a boulder uphill, but something being amplified, supported by forces beyond just you. It can bring in a sense of grace, divine help, strengthening faith.
And just the mathematical metaphor itself is potent, isn't it? That feeling of unstoppable, rapidly increasing positive change.
Absolutely. It's vivid, memorable. It says healing isn't just happening, it's really picking up steam.
Okay, finally, the affirmation closes with, "Thank you, God, for showing me that exponential healing has already begun." This introduces gratitude and this idea of already begun.
Yes, this closing is incredibly important. It does two key things. Expresses gratitude to a higher power and frames the desired outcome, exponential healing, as something already unfolding right now.
Psychologically, the benefits of gratitude, they're pretty well known, right?
Oh, definitely. Research consistently shows gratitude boosts positive emotions, reduces stress and anxiety, even impacts physical health, sleep, heart health.
Wow.
So expressing gratitude here reinforces a positive outlook and probably amplifies the affirmation's overall positive effect.
And in the brain, what happens when we feel and express gratitude?
Gratitude activates the brain's reward system. You get releases of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good chemicals.
Right.
This neurochemical bath can counteract stress and create a physiological state that's just more conducive to healing and well-being overall.
Spiritually, gratitude is huge, isn't it?
A cornerstone practice in so many faiths and traditions. It's seen as a way to connect with the divine, acknowledge blessings.
So it adds another layer of connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Offering thanks aligns with this profound spiritual practice, fostering connection, faith, trust. That can be incredibly comforting, especially when facing health challenges.
And that specific phrase has already begun. That feels really key too. It frames healing not as a distant goal, but as a present reality.
Yes, it aligns perfectly with mindfulness principles being present, recognizing what is already positive. By framing healing as already started, it reinforces that positive outlook now and strengthens belief in the journey ahead.
So if we kind of pull back and look at the whole thing, this affirmation is quite a sophisticated piece of work, isn't it?
It really is.
It starts by acknowledging the problem with both clarity and openness. It takes that holistic view, mind, body, spirit, uses strong, positive emotional language to build intention,
Mhm.
taps into belief in our own inner healing power, visualizes rapid progress, and then grounds it all in gratitude and present moment awareness.
And what's compelling is how seamlessly it weaves these different threads together. You can see echoes of self-affirmation theory, PNI principles, the placebo effect's potential, the known benefits of gratitude.
Right.
And it deeply connects with spiritual ideas about inner healing, interconnectedness, the power of belief, focused intention. It covers a lot of ground.
It's quite remarkable, really, how just a few sentences manage to potentially engage so many different parts of who we are, psychological, neurological, spiritual, all focused on fostering healing.
Exactly. It's a powerful example of how carefully chosen language might activate our inner resources and shift our perspective in a really profound way.
So as you listening reflect on this deep dive into Manish Suryawanshi's affirmation, maybe consider this. How might consciously bringing in elements like focused intention, positive affirmation, and gratitude play a more active role in your own well-being journey, whatever your current circumstances might be? Perhaps take a moment later to think about which specific part of this affirmation resonated most strongly with you and just explore why. It might offer a really valuable insight for your own path forward.